What's up, YouTube? This is gonna be the start of a new series, I guess to call it. I'm gonna start flipping tractors until I have enough money to start flipping cars. But the other day I went and picked this Ranch King mower up for 120 bucks. Guy had it up for 150, I think, and then I talked him down to 120. It has a little bit of rust on it, but I mean, 1997, it ain't bad. Four-wheel steer, 16.5 horses. It is a little cracked on the hood. The main problem, rear tire gets flat, so might put a tube or something in there. Guy did say the battery was shot, but I've charged it already and it's fine. Let me go ahead and crank this thing over. It's been sitting a couple days since I charged the battery, so we're gonna see if the battery actually starts. But well, she does in fact move, but I gotta get that tire fixed. I'll definitely clean it up, make it look nice. Probably throw a new air filter. Fuel filter on there is kind of dirty, but get a new air filter, clean all that up, put a new bolt in here. Oh, didn't notice that. Get that fixed too, I guess. So I did this off camera, but I got the front tire off because it popped off the bead. And then this one's flat, so we're gonna put tubes into both of those. And I'm gonna drop them off at the tire shop tomorrow. But I was messing with the light switch. And it's like real hard to push down. And it don't work, so I can figure out what's wrong with that. I'm testing a few things now. I tested to see if this was getting power, but I wasn't. I don't know if you had to have the key on for it to get power to there, but I pulled out the bulb to see if it was like busted or anything, which is not. But I think I broke that, so now I'll probably have to replace that because it won't get back up in and stay. So I might have to replace that, but I'm gonna turn it on, see if I'm getting power to these wires. And if I am, then it has to be something from there to the light bulbs. And if I'm getting power to there, then I don't know. Okay, so I tested it to there. Seeing I had power going to the switch. That switch might be bad still, I don't know. It's like, you turn it on and it, like, it's real hard, so I might have to replace the switch no matter what. So I was digging into this a little bit, and I got the ignition switch out here, and these wires, they just like slide in and out of this. So I think that whenever I looked, this wire here, which I'm pretty positive is for the headlights, it was like barely in there, so I'm hoping that wasn't even like touching, and that'll be able to get us the power for the headlights once I get a new one of these. But I don't know. I tried turning the key and now it won't even like turn over. It's not getting any power, so hoping I didn't mess anything up, which is a big possibility, but I don't know. Yeah. So I ordered a new switch, a couple new switches, and a new 7-pin plug for the ignition switch there, or yeah, that. So this one is actually right, didn't match up, but this one is a little small. So we're gonna use it just to test it for now, and then I'll get another one. Put the key in, and I turned it, and nothing happened, so gotta take this plate off here and see if there's one of these fuses down there, or see if there's any sort of fuse, and see if it just blew. Okay, so we got this thing here. I'm assuming it's some sort of fuse thing. It's not like what I have right there. But if you test it to that side, you got power. And that's coming from the battery. But if you test it this side, no power. So I believe it blew that. So I have to either try to rig something up with this, or see if I can find a new one of these. So I just rigged this relay up here. It's like a fuse relay thing. I hooked it up to the battery, and as soon as you connect the battery, it cranks over. So I'm gonna say that this relay thing here is bad. It must have been from whenever I pulled the wires out and they all touched right there. I'm gonna assume because it didn't disconnect the battery, so it's kind of my fault, but like 20 bucks on Amazon, so I guess I'll order one and then wait till that arrives and then put it on, see if I can get something to work. Okay, so I finally got this ordered in. It took 2 days to come in through Amazon. That was about like 11 bucks after shipping, but I'm gonna get it thrown on and hopefully this will fire up and I can put it back together. And we'll try the switch for the lights. Hopefully that fixes the lights, but start putting it back together. So we got that one off and going in with the new. Literally all it is fold it upside down like that. You just gotta pull these tabs, which are these right here. I'll pull those off, and then pull these off the studs, and then just put them back on. Alright, got this hooked back up in there. I hope everything's in the right spot. Got these grounds back on both sides. Hopefully she fires up. If not, I have no idea. But got the battery hooked up. Make sure you disconnect the battery before you mess with any of this stuff, or else you'll be in the same boat as I am and replacing that for no reason. But yeah, let's give this a try. So, give it on the key. Nothing. Which there is a melted wire here. I don't know what that is, but maybe that's the issue. I don't know. Okay, so after messing around a little bit, I called some people. That wire is not the problem. That solenoid is not the problem. It's actually that. Put it up into there and she cranks. So yeah, just know that there's a lot of safety switches on this thing that apparently I didn't know about, and it will make enough start. So now we get to put it back together and continue messing with the lights. Okay, so I got this tractor all put back together. It runs and everything. Now I'm working on the headlights, which this has like a little metal connector type thing. And this one I broke. So I got one of these for free, and I'm gonna trim down these little tabs and shove it in there. And then I gotta cut that off. Maybe not. Now you gotta take this pin thing out and then got that connector right there. I can just slide it on and it works. Alright, so I took some of the McGuire's plastics headlights on and I polished this up a little bit. Forgot to take a video of it before, but it looks a lot better. Kinda. There's not much you can do with that, especially right here. But clean that up, and then I'm gonna take some waterless wash and then just clean all that up, get it looking nice. But see, I trimmed it up right there, but it does back to work. This is what it originally was. Just sat up in there, and then these tabs held it in, but I broke it and it won't like bend back out, so I just pulled this off the one and it slid right onto this top piece right here, and they both work. So I'm gonna get that cleaned up, put that back on, and then I will start it and show you the lights. Okay, I got this cleaned up. I cleaned up like this whole area around here, inside of here, right here. It's not gonna be completely clean, but definitely helps the peepers out a little bit, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna get that cover turned back on, and then I'll start her up and show you the headlights. Okay, I guess got her on. It's a little bit better. Pull this out. So they definitely do look a lot better. I'm gonna have to replace the switch. I bought the switch and it's way too small to fit in there. So we'll have to fix that, but fire's right up, headlights work. I had to test the deck. I'll throw in a clip of me driving around now, but I'm gonna change the plugs, give it an oil change, and put a fuel filter on it. And since this is the twin, got one right here and one over there. Just gotta figure out what size they are and pull them out quick. So this is what I pulled out. Auto light. And Google told me to get these. I don't know about you, but those are quite different. Okay, so since those are different, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow after I get off work. I'm gonna go get ones that are equivalent to that, or if I can find auto light, I'll get the same ones. But I'm gonna throw that fuel filter on and then do the oil change, and I guess I'll call her a day. Okay, so before you guys go ahead and replace that fuel filter, make sure you definitely have the lines like broken free, because that's half my fuel tank right there, and the rest of it's down my arm, in my shirt, on the tractor right there. Alright, got that on. Use the clamps there, and then I had to put a zip tie here because this clamp's just loose. But it's on. Make sure when you put these on, they're directional. You can see there the flow going from gas tank to the carburetor. But yeah, let's do the oil change now. So here at the bottom of the motor, I got this drain tube that has this 7/8 plug on the end. Just loosen it and let it all drain in. It'll be here a while. You got the oil filled in there, but I run it, make sure the fluid's level to another day whenever I work on this. But I'll get those spark plugs maybe tomorrow or another day. But Okay, here I finally got the right spark plugs in my hoping. It's saying this calls for a resistor type plug, but I got this, and then I'm gonna make sure it's the right gap, which Google calls for 0.30, so that's where we're gonna make it. So I got them in right there, and then I got the other one in. I'm hoping they're gapped, and I'm hoping that one's fine. I was gapping it. Whenever I opened it up a little bit, it went pretty far, like 0.50. And I'm hoping it didn't like break anything, but I'll come back to this another day. It's dark out, obviously, but come back another day whenever it's not dark out and start it up. Make sure I got oil in it, well, enough oil from the oil change last night. All right, so I'm back at the tractor. I got it washed. Took it the other day, got it washed. Cleaned it all up. I put some tire cleaner on. Doesn't really look like it, but did that. I did run it around, get a video, get it listed, put it up for $400. No message yet. I had it up for like 3 days maybe, but after I washed it, I let it sit for a day, and then I came out, started it up, make sure it ran good to get the pictures and whatnot, and it was like rubbing up, or bogging out, rubbing up, bogging out, so I let it run like that for a little bit. Then I checked the oil, and it kind of has like, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it has like a milky consistency to it. It did before, but just to be safe so no one's getting junked, I'm gonna change the oil again so no water got in it. And I might put some new gas in it because I don't know if any water got down in that hole, but yeah, I'm gonna do that quick. Okay, I have been having an issue where the key won't turn on. Oh, that's not good. Well, that was on. Hopefully it didn't drain the battery, but I've had an issue with this wire for the safety switch. I don't know what safety switch it is, but it's like a bypass wire. Never had it in there before. It just pulls right out, so it's kind of loose. So I'm gonna stick one of these connectors on there, and then shove it in there, and hopefully it stays in there. And then I did get a bolt because look over here, it is loose. I put a bolt in that and hold it shut. This sucks because from it flopping around, it scratched all that paint, made it rust. But get that done real quick. Hopefully, putting a connector in that fixes it. But I guess we'll find out. Okay, I got the oil change done. I just put that bolt in and ball down there. So I'm gonna go put these back and then see if this will fire up quick. I do think it might have been just me being in my head about that milky consistency in the mower, but just to be safe, I'm doing that. Okay, so hopefully with that key being on, it will start, but I guess we'll see. Oh, I forgot to pull the choke back in. Okay, so it is 8 o'clock at night. I probably won't start this again just because I don't want to make my neighbors mad, so probably continue this tomorrow. But it does start, runs rough. I don't know why. Maybe I should put the old spark plugs back in, see if that helps it, but I'll try that. That did work. And then, yeah, I'll get back to you tomorrow. See you in a second, but 24 hours for me. Alright, I'm back on this thing. Did a little messing around with it. It doesn't like to stay running. Before, it didn't want to start. Well, it would start, but it wouldn't run. And I switched out the gas. I drained it, put new gas in it. And now it runs fine. but it dies after a couple minutes of running once it gets warmed up, basically. So I have to figure out what's wrong with that. It's either vapor locked or the ignition coil went bad. So I'm gonna get it started up and check to see what's going on. I'm gonna start it up, let it warm up, get up to whatever temp it does whenever it shuts off. Whenever it starts bogging out, I'll take this off. If it starts going back to normal, I'll know it's vapor locked. But if not, then I went and got the inline spark tester. I make sure the ignition coil ain't bad, which I'm leaning towards those two things. If it's not those, then I don't know what it is. No, it's not starting. Okay, I got it connected on there. Got that part in, and then this one, the spark plug. If you watch when I crank it over, this here is supposed to flash. Right there, there's a light bulb in there, it's supposed to flash. And I don't got that. I'm gonna test the other one, see what that one does. Oh, battery's dead. Got the battery charger put on. Oh, jump box. I'll try it and see what it does. Now, if you don't want to get that tool right there, the spark plug inline tester kit thingy, you can just get any spark plug, I think, but I just got one of the ones I have for this, and plug it in there and just lean it up against the motor, turn it, make sure you don't have your hands anywhere close to it because it will shock you, but have it up against somewhere that's grounded, and you should see a little spark coming out of there. If there's spark, then you know the ignition coil is good. But I just did that too on this, and I didn't see a single spark, so we have to take that off and get a new one, I guess. I'll start taking the cover off, maybe take this off, and when we get to the ignition coil, see if I can test the power to the ignition coil, make sure it's not like the stator or anything in there, whatever that's called. So we'll get to that real quick. Yeah, so I'm gonna take this off, just these 3 bolts right here. It is a 8mm. This comes. Oh man, there's the bolts. There's this hose right here, you gotta take that off. That hose there, you just push down through the hole and it should come right off. Okay, so I got this all torn apart. I have diagnosed it, hopefully it's the ignition coil. I put a jumper wire from the battery to this, tried to fire it over and it still wasn't getting any spark. So I got a new one here. It's a little different, but I'm hoping it works. So I get that switched out and put back on. Probably won't record because it's cold out here. So I'm gonna try to get this done pretty quick. Okay, I got the new one in. I'm gonna tie these up so they ain't touching the block, getting warm or anything. But did put the test light on that one, and it was getting spark, but the battery's like almost dead. So it was a very low spark, but more than what we had before. So I'm gonna start putting the cover back on and get the battery jumped, try to fire her up. Alright, power back on, the hood tightened up, this is all tightened down, that's all tightened down. I tied this up, tied that up. And then I did lose this screw, so I had to put a new one in there, but got the battery charger on. Spoke the wire on. Spoke the wire on. There's snapped one. Guess we'll turn it off. So I got the mower here, getting loaded it up on the truck. I have someone that wants me to deliver it. It's like an hour and 4 minutes away. So hopefully I can get this out. I did have an issue where I think it needs a carb rebuild or carb clean. I was funny, so I lowered the price to like $275. And then they asked me how much I charged to deliver it, and I said $300 and I'll deliver it. So hopefully we get $300 out of it. There we go, all loaded up. Let's hit the road. Alright, this is the whole cost breakdown. I bought it for under $20. It was like $20 in gas to get there and back to pick it up. But I didn't make a whole lot off of this, as you can see. I just wanted it gone, so I sold it for what I could. But yeah, that's the whole cost breakdown.